Hi, I'm Slack, this is Tony and welcome to Smog Vlog. And this is That Was February.
So guys, welcome to the vlog, and it's been a fairly standard month in terms of vaping news.
Yeah, we've been seeing reports saying that vaping's really bad for you. We've also been seeing reports that saying vaping's pretty good for you compared to cigarettes.
We've also seen reports that vaping is a bridge to smoking. And we've also seen reports that suggest pregnant teens will smoke if they can't vape.
And once again, we've seen spare batteries and coins in people's pockets, breeding and giving birth to beautiful fire babies. So, same shit, different day. Or month in this case.
So, briefly running down the hit list of how this video is going to play out. As always, we'll start with the month's news.
Closely followed by our Smog Vlog.
Then we'll have our previous video updates for you.
And then just general chit chat and what we've been vaping on this month.
But powering through for you, we'll start with the news.
Okay, first up on the news hit list, something that's been sort of bandied about around a lot of vaping press and stuff is the fact that the EU Commissioner has stated that vaping is not cool, or that's what he's alluding to. Now, this guy whose name I'm just going to pronounce as Titus Andromedus because I can't fucking pronounce it. Yeah, so he's the EU Commissioner, and he has publicly said that he doesn't like e-cigarettes, and which is kind of weird because there also is a whole big talk about taxing e-cigarettes and the business side of things. Yeah, we've got these people who are saying it's a bad thing. It's only a bridge for people to start smoking, and he's quoted saying all this stuff. And yeah, there are definitely reports that says vaping is a bridge to smoking. However, when people have looked at them, like Linda Bolden, loads of people, anyone with a rational brain, you sort of tear it apart and just go, bullshit. Again, we reported on basically the same story last month. It's just rinse and repeat. But yeah, it's bad having this guy in power in the EU who openly doesn't like e-cigs.
And so yeah, despite the knowledge that everyone fucking knows in this vaping industry, that Public Health England saying that vaping 95% safer than traditional smoking tobacco, he's still, no, fuck it, I'm against it.
Yeah. In the pocket of big tobacco, perhaps? Or, some people maybe just reads the Daily Mail. You can't tell. You can't tell. I mean, it's very closed-minded, considering if he's supposed to be concerned with the health of people. And we've been here before, so I don't know that we're going to linger on this story too much. But yeah, anyone in the vaping industry, the vaping press, has sort of got hold of this, because you have a public figure like that sort of taking a very open stance against vaping. Particularly if it's based around unfounded sort of guesswork and half-truths and stuff. It's going to get people's backs up, and yeah.
Mission accomplished. Reading further down this article, by the way, it's going to be linked down below in the crotch box. What do we call it?
Crotch box.
Yeah, okay.
Fantastic.
It's down there. If you want to have a read of it yourself, we're reading it right now. And further down in the article, he actually says that his main concern is to do with vaping being advertised as a cool thing to attract the youngest, which is it's a catch-22 situation. While we agree with him about the advertising to the youngest, and that shouldn't be sort of like seen as something for them to be getting into, he's throwing everyone else under the fucking bus by doing it.
Yeah, because if you've got a vaping company and you want to sell your product, you're not going to market something as shit or uncool. Who would want to market that? It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, you get fucking cleaning products, thrush creams, all advertising with amazing, swanky, shiny adverts. Of course you do. You don't advertise your product to make it look shit. So the fact they're trying to make things look cool, yeah, of course they are. The same way that people make 18 videos and 18 computer games look cool. They still attract little kids. Just getting angry.
Preparation H.
Yeah, so anyway, the reason Titus Andronicus has got his knickers in a twist, so to speak, is because this report by Ernst & Young, which was apparently commissioned by the British American Tobacco Corporation, PLC.com. So the report goes in to sort of look at usage of e-cigarettes and trends of who's taking up e-cigs, who's going down. It's quite good to see British e-cigarette use has grown each year. Admittedly, the growth has sort of calmed down this year compared to previous years. However, it's still an uptake. It's still growing. Apparently, 850,000 British people have completely quit smoking traditional tobacco cigarettes because of e-cigarettes, and apparently half of French people, which is awesome. And there's some stats for the rest of the world as well, which is good. It just shows the positive impact that e-cigarettes have had. And so when we get a nice sort of positive, here's some sort of facts and figures, these look good, you're always going to get a backlash. The fact that backlash is coming from this senior EU man is a real shame, really. But there you go, kind of don't expect any different, really, do we, from the people that bought us the TPD?
Cunts. Cheeky bastard.
Alright, you can do that. Right, okay, next up is going to be the heart of vaping. So Tony's going to fill us in on this one.
Yeah, next up. Okay, so the title being Increased Cardiac Sympathetic Activity and Oxidative Stress in Habitual Electronic Cigarette Users, motherfucker.
Yeah, and you didn't read the whole thing line for line, word for word. It was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, anyway, I saw this one just before when we were setting up the previous vlog, but as it was 1st February this happened, we couldn't obviously go in the January vlog,
Rules is rules.
Rules is rules, so yeah, it was the hard cut off, and it's one I've sort of been trying to follow, but like a lot of these things, there's a big buzz around it at the time, and there's like a slow trickle where people finally catch up to it a month later and start publishing it as new news, even though it's old news, and so we're still waiting to hear more. But the crux of this, I believe, from reading the reports, is basically we think nicotine is what they're blaming for this increased stress on the heart and all the problems it can cause to potentially lead into heart problems in later life. Now, this is the same sort of thing that you would probably get from caffeine and you get from sugars, and you get all these things where it's just like, it's bad. And we kind of know it's bad, but is it worse than smoking? That's as an ex-smoker, that is always what I gauge this at. Is it worse than smoking? And if it is, then fair cop. But
I wouldn't say just that. I would say, is it factual of them to say that? Is that the case, or is this one of those articles that was written? This may be, or it is very ambiguous in the way that it's fucking written.
They've got some science in there, but there is. This could indicate that it will lead to, but we won't know for 50 years. So, it is one of those could do's. But again, it's at least they did name nicotine in it. They haven't just said e-cigarettes. But again, you can vape without nicotine. So does that completely negate this as an issue? Being a vapor, we can think of all the obvious questions to ask, but they never seem to be answered by these people chucking out these journals and these white papers and these things.
I wonder why.
Yeah. There was a big buzz around this one again. All the sort of media places reported on it, and something like this does definitely get my attention. Something that looks like it could be a potential credible health risk from vaping, and I do keep a very close eye on that. But here it is nicotine, which we know is not great for the body. The body doesn't like it in the same way it doesn't like caffeine and other things.
Right, so the upshot on this article was pretty much habitual electronic cigarette use is associated with physiologic effects, which basically loosely translates to we need to investigate further.
So the crux of the matter with this report is that basically, there are sort of health issues seen, not necessarily problems yet, but the indicators. And what they have said is that it warrants more investigation. Now, I completely agree with that, because I want to know how healthy this is compared to smoking, compared to not vaping, and more research, more unbiased research is only going to be a good thing.
While I agree with what Slack's saying here, I don't agree with it for the same reasons, because, first of all, this study was only conducted on 42 individuals from the outset. That's not a big enough cross-section of people.
It's the secret of life. History, mystery, and the universe.
42 is?
Yeah.
Not 42 people in a study, though. And especially not when it affects our health. I agree that, and as we have always said, vaping needs to be investigated further. We need those long-term studies because we haven't had it. Not the same as cigarettes have had it.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's coming though. So, next up on the vaping news. E-cigarette use falls for the first time as MPs launch inquiry into whether use of the devices should be restricted.
Yeah, so let's just start. This is the Daily Fail, so just to clarify. And when they say that e-cig use falls, it didn't actually fall, it just didn't grow by as much. So, let's twist those words a little bit. It only went up by 6%. That's not falling if it goes up, is it? Yeah, okay. Sigh, but it's
projected growth numbers. Oh no, it fell.
Yeah, I mean, it's standard Daily Mail, and that's go on as well. I mean, just the headline, talk about maybe it should be restricted. Hi, it is. You can't buy it if you're under 18, and there's the TPD has sort of come into effect, and so we have 2ml tanks and 10ml juice bottles, and only this strength nicotine, 20 meg nicotine, and it's just it's already restricted. But what's I don't know how much I want to talk about a Daily Mail article because it's just going to make me angry.
Yeah, we should really going forward just restrict all fucking daily fuckers. Daily Mail articles because they just raise our fucking blood pressure.
Yeah, it's bad for your heart, like we alluded to in the last article. So according to the Daily Mail, MPs are going to be looking into the sort of association between e-cigarette use and cancer and infertility. Not only that, they're also going to be looking at how effective it is for giving up smoking. No doubt they will also be looking at how much of a bridge it is for kids to pick up an e-cigarette and then straight onto crack from there, or tobacco, or whatever they feel like gateway.
But in actuality, what isn't included in this article is pretty much how much they think they can get away with taxing the fuck out of it. So, rounding off the fails news story, we'll find out more when MPs finish their inquiries.
Yeah, hopefully we won't find it out from the Daily Mail though, so we'll have some sort of useful facts and some hopefully unbiased. It's not going to happen, is it? Anyway, enough of that one. Right, next on the vaping news hit list, metal. Unfortunately, metal found in vape. So studies have been done on sort of different types of e-cigarettes, more particularly the older type of e-cigarettes, rather than the ones that look like a cassette player with a mouthpiece on the top. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Anyway, the report goes on saying that they found metal sort of in with the e-liquid and, not from the e-liquid, but probably coming from the coils where they set the old type with the coils and the liquid all together.
To clarify, he's talking about Generation 1, the cigalikes.
Yeah, so where they sit together, and they found a whole nasty load of heavy metals in there. So the metals in question are cadmium, chromium, manganese, nickel, and lead, of all things. But yeah, the two that really sort of strike a chord with me there are obviously chromium and nickel, because they are actually heavily used as sort of vaping coils still nowadays. Nichrome is those two whacked together, and that's a lot of people's favourite material for building coils with. So if there is some evidence, actual evidence that not only the metals going into the e-liquid, because that doesn't matter, it's what happens when they're vaporised. Is it being vaporised? Is it at a temperature where it can atomise that and deliver it into your lungs and poison you? You know, is that happening? Is that a real thing? Again, I think this is another one of those news articles where they found clues that basically warrant further investigation. And again, has our approval, because I'll be quite happy to vape stainless steel if that helps, you know, remove that, because I really like stainless steel as well.
What we do take exception to, though, are these sensationalist news articles that grabs people's attention straight away by saying metal found in e-cigarettes, and it's just designed as clickbait, really, without any further information forthcoming.
Yeah, there's a scrap of truth. Let's twist that and make it into a sensationalist news story. And I'm surprised this one didn't take off quite as much as some of the others. You know, it could have got hold of this. I'm surprised I haven't seen it everywhere, but you know, it is there and being reported and slightly misreported. But you know.
Okay, so these findings were published recently in the journal Environmental Research. If this topic is something that interests you, remember, crotch box down below. Moving on.
Crotch box. Oh, yeah. So, next news article. It's all gone tits up down under.
So, the Australian Therapeutic Goods Administration are basically looking to ban vaping down under.
Yeah, it's already sort of pretty tight on what's going on in Australia. But yeah, the big decision comes on the 23rd of March, so we'll obviously be reporting on that in the next vlog. But you know, it's one for the radar for this month, because you know, that would be shit for everyone in Australia. There's a hell of a lot of smokers in Australia. Again, this is a lot of this. You wonder how much of it. You know, they're talking about health. It's for your good. It's for your good that we're banning this. Even though, you know, we've got Public Health England with the 95% thing, which we keep saying, we keep coming back to. But you know, there are positive health reports as well as the scaremongering and the, you know, now debunked bad for you health reports. So the fact that they're sort of coming from this health thing, then you look at the sort of financial side of things. For every £17 sort of pack of cigarettes that are sold out there, £12 of that is tax in the purse. So, yeah. How much of this is for our health? How much of this is for your pocket?
So the TGA's stance currently is stringent at best. And come that March deadline, they're hoping to maintain an aspect of it. It's only legal to buy or import nicotine liquids if that person has a prescription from like the likes of a doctor.
Yeah, and then you get only be able to import 3 months worth, and it's just going to make vaping impossible, basically, or also awkward that smoking will be the much easier alternative. Funnily enough, the Australian Tax Alliance Association, ATA anyway, they're actually just sort of turned around and said, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, this is not good. There's overwhelming international support for vaping, saying it's not bad. You guys are burying your heads up your arse and just not facing the facts of, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's just going to be really bad for people.
What up, Tugboat?
What up, Tugboat?
Right, so this shit show of an article, as always, linked up down below in the crotch box if you want to read more. Like we said, the decision's coming on the 23rd of March, so we'll report next month.
Oh, yeah,
Whoa, Slack, what the fuck are you doing, man?
It's
Dripping?
It's some crazy new trend that the kids are doing. It's called dripping.
Oh my god!
Yeah, what it does is it allows you to drip directly onto the coils, so you inhale the vapors to your face. Yeah, so this is the next news article that's going all around the interwebs. Yeah, it starts in Canada, and yeah, apparently vaping is dripping is a new thing, and all the kids are doing it. It's the latest trend. Wow.
A teenage vaping craze.
Yeah, nonetheless, and yeah, how have they only just heard about this? Yeah, it shows how detached the media are from what's really going on. I mean, drippers have been about for years and years. You know, drippers are one of the things that sort of help, you know, building your own coils. One of the things that help push vaping, all that innovation. You know, the need for more powerful mods, more, better safety controls, all this sort of good stuff that we sort of know and expect now. A lot of that has come from people making their own rigs and sort of building their own coils on drippers. So how this is new and I don't know. Biggest belief.
It's worth noting at this point that this article has been widely publicised. A lot of people have already spoken about it. Thanks. We still found it funny though, so we thought we'd have our 2 pennies worth as well.
Yeah, so I mean, just the wording of this article, which I'm going to have to read now because I can't remember that much stuff. It's just a joke. It's like something from the 1920s. Those partaking in the increasingly popular phenomenon take apart the e-cigarettes and pour the liquid found inside on the device's heating coil to produce thick clouds of vapour.
It reads like Mr. Chumbley Warner, Harry Enfield and Friends.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed that I don't finish every sentence with A, eh?
Hey?
Because that would make it feel more Canadian, eh? But yeah, it's okay. Yeah, dripping's the new evil. Not carrying batteries loose in your pocket with coins. Yeah, that's not the new evil. It's dripping. Yeah, because that's really bad. So
moving on.
Okay, and this brings us to the last news story for that was February, and that is that e-cigarettes are actually better for you.
So this next news story comes from the Annals of Internal Medicine.
Yeah, so there were 5 different groups of people who were studied in this long-term study. You had traditional tobacco smokers, and then you had e-cigarette users, then you had NRT, you use sort of chewing gum type, alternative hook'em.
Nicotine replacement therapy.
Yeah, and then you had dual users who were smoking and using e-cigarettes or smoking and using NRT.
And so it comes, the long and short of this article found that pretty much everyone that was smoking had levels of toxins in their systems that were not good, and the only people that were coming out on top were the people using e-cigarettes.
And NRT, but exclusively that, not people who were dual using with tobacco as well. So, the moral of the story is, according to this article, give up traditional tobacco, move on to NRT or e-cigarettes, and those toxin levels, the carcinogens, they will come down. And this is again what Public Health England was saying, that it's a lot better for you. Mm-hmm. And we have a long-term study from a medical institute, and they are saying that here's the facts, here's the figures, look at it.
As always, guys, down in the crotch box down below, we'll link you up with the article itself. It's a very wordy article. They use a lot of very specific terminology, I think is probably the right way of saying it, which we wouldn't want to butcher any more than we already have.
Yeah, what has been interesting though is, if this article had come out and said that e-cigarettes were bad, you could guarantee that every newspaper in the UK, around the world, would be saying how bad. Oh, we've got a report, it's a medical report and it says it's bad. Did we see it around all of them? No.
Anyone else hear about it? Well, I think we had to dig for this one to find it.
Yeah, I mean, it was out there, but nowhere near the sort of thing. If it could be like that sensationalist, bad, horrible news story where, yes, we've got proof that vaping is the new evil. So,
well, there was no e-cigarette exploding in it for a start, that's why.
Yeah, so, well, it's nice to end on a high, and, this is good, especially in light of the other health reports we've had. So this one is a good one for us e-cigarette users.
Okay, guys, before we get into our next section of Ask Smog Vlog, we have corrections from the last vlog.
Yeah, a couple of minor corrections there. So, we don't like it when media outlets misreport stuff, and we don't want to do that as well. So first one was obviously the Apple one. Yes, they have banned vaping software and apps in their store, and anything sort of related to that. However, they haven't put in a patent for building a vaporizer. That was a building thing that Incitatus quite rightly pointed out. So that is exactly right. It is not an Apple iCig coming out.
We do stand by fuck Apple, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my personal preference, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. So I almost said sorry then, but I'm not going to say sorry. They don't
Hell
need an
no.
apology from us. It's fine. The other one was 12 Monkeys? Yeah, 12 Monkeys. That's
Was
a
it 12
film.
Monkeys?
That's a film.
It was 12, yeah.
Who we said were from Malaysia. Actually, they're from Canada. It's an e-juice range. The reason that I got confused on this was when we were at the Vape Jam or the other one.
No, I think it was Vape Jam.
One of them, 12 Monkeys, were there, and we were chatting to the guy who was working there. When we asked where they were from, he said Malaysia, but that's where he was from, and probably wasn't getting my English so much. I'm guessing, or maybe just my dumb, thick accent, you know? I don't know. But anyway, that's where that came about, and it's wrong. They're from Canada, eh? So, 12 Monkeys are awesome as well. Mango base, love it. Really, really nice juice. Don't think we've reviewed that one. Maybe we should do. That's the kind of thing where you find one juice in a range that is just phenomenal. We kind of moved on from reviewing that individual juice, but I kind of want to go back to it sometimes. You get that one, and you're just like, this is the tits.
12 Monkeys, if you're watching, hook us up.
Yeah, hook us up with the whole set. We'll do the lot just so we can review Mango Bays, but send us lots of bottles of Mango Bays. We're not sure on it.
So guys, there you have it. We're not shy when we do get it wrong, and we will always put it right in the next available opportunity. Hence, here we are.
Put it right in.
And apparently we're leaving that in as well. Guys, tell us if we fucked up anything on this one as well.
Yeah, please do.
Right, moving on to this, our new and upcoming section.
Sure,
why not? Ask Smog Vlog.
Yeah, okay, so first thing we're going to go with our Smog Vlog. Actually, we're going to screw it up straight away and ask you a question. So we're going to be doing a giveaway again soon, and we want to know what sort of things you would like from a giveaway. Is it e-juice? Do you want mods? Do you want, full kits? Not the SXG class. However, what sort of things, what are you after? It could be anything. Just let us know what you're thinking, what you think would be popular, and we'll see what we can do. So last time when we were asking you guys what sort of devices you're using, what's new, what's exciting, Incitatus came back to us and said he's got the SXG class in the post, and then he received it, he's got it. And he actually sent us a really nice email basically gloating how he got the last one in the country. But yeah, it looks like a really, really slick mod. Really, really nice. He's really impressed with it, and I'm really disappointed that I can't find one in the UK, which is a shame.
So yeah, the email wasn't all just gloating. He did actually give a bit of an apology to Slack for snagging quite possibly the last one in the UK, which is nice for him, not so nice for Slack. Also, separately, completely unrelated subject, give a like for this video if you think that Incitatus should send us his SXG class for us to review.
Yeah, so a big shout out to Incitatus, our long-time subscriber. Really, really nice bloke, always really helpful in the comments. And yeah, he works out at an e-cig shop at Phoenix e-cigs over in March.
Yeah, that's Fenland Walk, if you're wondering, between Broad Street and Sainsbury's car park.
Yeah, so if you're in that neck of the woods, do pop in and give him a shout and said that Smoglog said hi.
Yeah, I did do a quick Google search on that and looked at the old Google Street View. Looked like a well dodgy bunch of bastards down there. So, Incitatus, email us with your address or the shop's address, and we'll get some of our business cards sent out to you, mate. So, next up on the hit list, we got a message from Jack asking why his vape hurts his throat. Literally, that was it. Why does my vape hurt my throat? It's a bit fucking ambiguous. So after some back and forth messaging, we managed to thrash out that he was a new vapor. He was using a basic 40-watt starter kit, but he was direct lung inhaling 18mg e-juice, which is, a bit fucking harsh to say the fucking least. I can't even imagine doing that.
Yeah, not at 40 watts if you're doing the full 40 watts. I know a lot of people that vape 18 migs, but sort of 25 watts sort of topping out on the sort of mouth to lung coils, But yeah, it is horses for courses, because what's harsh to one person will be gentle for another person. There are plenty of people out there. But what I would say is that one of the things to remember is that you can lower the nicotine in your device, and that's going to take away some of that harshness. And if you're not getting enough, you can turn the power up a little bit, finding that right balance for you. Don't think just because you used to smoke a lot of cigarettes that you need this mega high nicotine levels. With vape, you can just turn the nicotine down, turn the power up a little bit, and you just find that sweet spot for you.
The other thing that you can actually do there is alter your VG-PG mix ratio there, because the higher the PG level, the more of the throat hit, the scratchiness you'll get at the back. So just increasing the VG level will create that smoother, billowing cloud effect that you're looking for.
Also, another thing that can really affect the throat hit is the actual flavouring. Obviously, you've got things like menthol where you get that really cold kick that can affect some people's throat. But it's not only that, there's like cinnamons and lots of random things. Sort of the sweet ones, some people affect it. While flavour might be subjective, the sort of throat hit you get from different flavours, maybe that does affect people differently. I don't know. I found me and Tony are fairly consistent. When one of us finds something has quite a strong throat hit, we tend to both find that, and that's usually based around flavours, because we tend to do the sort of 70-30, 80-20 sort of mix at 3 mg nicotine, so it's sort of a fairly level playing field there. But some juices, you get a stronger throat hit than others. Also, one other thing that would really affect throat hit, certainly for me when I got into sort of vaping full time, I really noticed it once I'd given up smoking traditional cigarettes, that helped with my throat. That mix of going from smoke to vapour to smoke to vapour, that really messes with your throat. And
on the back of that, alternating between smoking and vaping, the coughing effect, the vapors cough, the coughing actually irritates the lining of the throat, which, I mean, if you're going to do it dual, it's just going to be a fucking nightmare. Just choose a time, stop the smoking, preferably, and start with the vaping. Once you go full time with the vaping, it won't be too long before it will be fucking second nature.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty quick to get over that, but you need to sort of do it with commitment. You stop smoking and start vaping and just give it a good go. And to get used to it, because when you first vape, you do cough, because you're inhaling steam and you're not used to it, and the way you inhale will tend to be different to the way you inhale cigarettes, just because of the way these devices work and fit around your lips. And yeah, you didn't go for it.
I didn't. I was,
well done.
Sorry.
You're growing as a person.
Oh no.
But yeah, I mean, the way to sort of really get used to it, I've advised so many people, like, just stop smoking, go for a weekend, go sit in the pub, have a few beers, so you just sort of relax and get used to it, and in one night you can probably get over it and just adjust to it, and it will become second nature in no time at all.
So next up was Arnab and a few other people asking why they have leaky coils.
Yeah, so Arnab's question was specifically about the iJust-S, but there's been a few other questions around other tanks. Now, the basic thing is to make sure your coil is fitted correctly and that the O-rings are on and good and your tank's screwed together tight. We haven't had any leaking issues. Have you had any? I haven't. No. The iJust-S has been rock solid, reliable. But it's the EC coil heads in there, which we've been using for years now. It goes back to the iJust 2, and they're such a common coil format. Now, as long as you've got the O-rings on the coils themselves, there should a little O-ring at the bottom there where you screw it down in. That's going to stop the juice leaking directly out there. Also, if you pre-wet the coil, don't over pre-wet it, because that will wet through into the tank. But once you're vaping it, it should be all good. If you do an exhale where you sort of blow through the device,
you're kissing everywhere.
Oh, good point. If you do that, then that's going to sort of blow vapour into there, and you will get condensation in the base chamber in where the airflow is, and you will get a little bit leaking out. However, it should only be a little bit. The other thing to sort of bear in mind as well, if your atomizer sat there for a long time, the cotton will just keep absorbing that liquid and it will run through. So if you're not firing it up a few times a day or something, it varies coil to coil, but yeah, you will get some leakage there. Like prime example would be if you fill a Colito up, and just leave it on the side. In 2 days, it will have ditched pretty much all of its juice through that cotton. Where's so much cotton? It's just going to ditch it all through. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with the coil. It's just not what they're designed to do. They're designed to sort of be used regularly. When you fire up the coil, it's going to burn off the juice that's starting to leak through, and it's dry, and then the wicking process continues.
Can I have a go now?
Yeah.
Awesome. The other two things that came to mind when I was talking to him was the mix ratio to his e-juice. If you have slightly looser e-juice, it's more on the side of the PG, that can sometimes saturate and get through the cotton a lot quicker. The other thing is if he's buying fake coils, if they're not authentic, then the quality just isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, fake coils are such a lottery. Sometimes they're alright, they're nearly at the sort of standard. But it's very rare that you get a better sort of fake coil. Like when we say fake coils, we don't necessarily mean fake coils, because if you go on Fastec, you can buy an alternative coils. They're not fakes. They're not sold as trying to be the originals, but they're just like cheap copies basically. And that's not to be confused with the fact that you can buy sort of other companies like Coil Art, make coils specifically for other people's atomizers, and they can be really, really good, and you can actually pay a lot more for those coils, and they will give you a lot better performance. But yeah, cheap coils can be bad. And next up, we had a question about battery safety from no one, which is surprising, because the number of people who keep blowing themselves up with loose batteries and chains in their pockets. I mean, again, this month, we've already reported on it at the start of the video, people just keep blowing themselves up. Date night ruined by a fiery pocket, and it just keeps happening. Just put your batteries in a little plastic clip. You don't carry AA batteries around in your pocket. They're not safe. They do exactly the same things. You short a battery out, it explodes. Simple. So, I'm pretty sure we're preaching to the choir here, because I'm pretty sure where we've banged on about it so much, you guys must have already heard about this, and it's probably people who don't watch videos like this who make the mistake of doing it. But yeah, that one guy we reported about at the start of the article, he actually says in it, well, looking at the batteries, I've got one battery from the manufacturer that says don't carry it loose in your pocket, but the one that exploded in my pocket didn't say anything about that. What are you telling me, that you knew that you shouldn't carry them in your pockets, but because it didn't say, you thought you'd do it anyway? Or is this just something you found out afterwards? I don't know. But yeah, battery safety, people, it's a real thing.
The argument could be made there that he thought that the one that had the battery safety thing on it didn't have any safety built into it, so it had to be carried like that. But the one that didn't have any safety information attached to it, that was totally safe to carry, next to change and whatnot in his pocket.
His junk.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Similar to our dripping article earlier. Penis on fire, latest craze.
Yeah, so if you haven't got any yet, I mean, these cost like maybe $1 if you get them from China, maybe £2 if you're buying them in the UK, and quite often come free with batteries. If they don't come free, just invest in one. So if you have to carry spare batteries about, this could save you from serious burns. It is so obvious, but if you haven't thought of it, think of it now. Think of it now. Right, okay, that about does it from that bit of our Smog vlog. But for next time, if you've got any questions, they won't necessarily make it on here, but we will always help people. I don't think we've not helped people, even though we have found some messages hidden away at message requests in Facebook or something, but we've even addressed those now. Finger pulled firmly out, we're getting there. So yeah, if you've got any questions, then maybe they'll make it into our Smog vlog if we think they're good uns. As the video's getting quite long already, we go quickly on to our next section, penultimate section. We're nearly there, and it's what have you been vaping on? So Tony, what have you been vaping on?
Nothing that you guys know yet, because we haven't put the review up, but Drippy Lee.
Yeah, me too as well, actually. Yes. Working my way through then lolly drops and we can't spoilers. Shh. But yeah, lot of e-juice from the Drippy Lee dude. It's nice. Spoilers. Stop the spoilers.
They might not be.
So what about hardware? What hardware you been on?
Hardware wise, it's most recently been the Mellow 300 that I took delivery of. Unfortunately, China, beginning of February have their Chinese New Year, so deliveries go absolutely to shit for anything coming out of China. Pretty much because everywhere closed down for maybe 10 days, I think, a week, 10 days, something like that, so everything just gets fucking pushed back. Taken an absolute age to take delivery of, but the Mellow 300, just did the unboxing for it the other day, hooked it straight up, put some juice in it, fucking loving it, it's brilliant.
What sort of wattage are you rocking it at?
At the minute, I'm being fairly conservative with only about 100 watt. Ha ha! Because it goes up to 300 watt. As always, guys, keep an eye on the channel because there will be a full review. Well, we get the unboxing first and then we'll do the full review for you.
Yeah, coming back to battery safety though, these are fairly sort of low resistance coils, and so rocking them at 300 watts, just keep an eye on Ohm's law. You don't want to be popping your batteries.
Back over to you. What have you been vaping?
Yeah, so I've finally got a Mason dump tank that is in sort of serviceable condition. Yeah, so there'll be an unboxing coming up for the dump tank soon once I pull my finger out and get round to editing that. I've been struck down with illness a couple of times and busyness and just life, hashtag life gets in the way. But the dump tank is really impressive, the 30mm one. Really liking it, and so yeah, shout out to Neil Walker for suggesting that one, and liking it so far. Other than that, it's just been the sort of standard affair. Always like so, my L1 and my favourite rose gold crown, just to annoy Tony. But more recently, we have the Kickstarter kit, which is. Yeah, it's really duty. Look how cool. You can't see how cool it is because it won't focus, but yeah, it's really cool. It is a sort of fairly basic cloud starter kit, 0.5 ohm coil. Very reminiscent to the iJust2, that sort of thing. Similar levels of battery. Unboxing will be up very soon for that, and spoilers. I'm liking it.
He doesn't know how to run a review channel. He really doesn't. Keep it under your hat. Going back to the dump tank though, thank you Neil, as always, that was appreciated. In actual fact, I was so impressed when he got his. I found stylised dump tanks in China. Drop us a comment down below, let us know if you want to see a versus video between authentic versus style. Okay, with that being said, time to move over to video updates.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Smog TFV8 baby coils. Baby beast.
Baby beast.
Beast is the right word. All of the coils give amazing flavour. Absolutely amazing flavour. Really good vapour.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Just like some of the best flavour I've had out of vape. But there is a catch that we've found fairly common across all of them with different juices. Doesn't matter what juice you throw at them. They all just burn up too quick for us.
Yeah, they will burn up too quick, apart from the X4 coils. The X4s seems to be the best performer, and that's the one that comes, I think, pre-installed with the kit. It's there front and central in the tank. When I first got it, started using it, it worked fine. Handed it across to Slack for him to do some testing on. He used... How long did you say you used it for?
Oh, well over a week. Of almost exclusive use, and yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, the other coil, there was the other coil included in the pack, which I think burned up after 2 to 3 days, and the other bunch of coils we got, which were separate again. I can't even remember what the fuck.
T8 was one of them, and
the naming convention,
Q6 or
something else. It was a fucking nightmare. They were just bullshit. They fucking burnt out so quickly, like sooner than you'd expect.
Yeah, I got 4 days. Not T8, the other one you had, but yeah, 4 days is not long enough for a coil when they're so expensive because they're big. There's a lot of metal. If I could get a week out of it, I would probably just use that all the time. I might actually stop using my crown and just move to using that, just because the flavour and the vapour that is just lovely. But that short life, it just doesn't work for me.
The thing that pissed me off most about this is that it seemed that all the resellers cottoned on that this was the good coil, and so they started producing them in packs of 3. All the other fucking coils you could get in packs of 5. There were a few places that you could get these X4 coils in a pack of 5, but the price was just through the fucking roof. It was a piss take.
Yeah, really is. And a shame, because
it really puts a bad light on an otherwise excellent fucking system.
Yeah. So next up we had the Pico Dual. Yeah, it's a funky little mod. I can't remember, I think we tried to sort of exclude the Mellow 3 tank that came with our kit, but again that is a really great tank for starters, and because of the coils you can fit in there, you know, sort of experienced vapors alike, with that 0.18 stainless steel, tasty little coil. Yeah, I really like it. It's like a nice reliable bit of kit.
Next up on the hit list was the Wismec RX Mini Kit, which was kind of a standout performer for us. I mean, Slack didn't know it was a 2100 mAh battery, and I was surprised by, you know, how fucking long you got out of that 2100 mAh battery, like Slack said in the review. Yeah,
it's a real tidy little unit, and yeah, it's a credit to the sort of RX series. And lastly, we had, or we will have by the time this video goes up, the Juice Bomb review done. Yeah, range of 8 flavours I think it was. Standout one, still New York cheesecake. I love it. It was so tasty, and just thinking about it, I can taste it. It's awesome. Yeah, New York cheesecake.
So, Juice Bomb being a British company, we always stand behind British-made e-juice. We love that sort of stuff. It sort of like projects the country as a whole. My God, it's not even written down on the screen. No, they did a fucking fantastic job. Of the 5 juices that we reviewed, we fucking loved all of them, and we met up with them at one of the recent expos. The brilliant bunch of guys there who have been promoting their e-juice line on the likes of Facebook, the Facebook groups, quite heavily recently. Well done, guys. Okay, guys, that about wraps it for this vlog this month. We hope you like what you're seeing and what we're doing for you. If you do, please drop a like, do the whole subscribe thing, leave us a message, because we are quite
chatty. If you've got any questions about any of the articles in this or anything else, hit us up in the comments section below. Find us on social media. Also, if you're on the social media, give us a share, because sharing is caring. It'll help our channel grow, and it'll help the giveaways grow, and it'll just be good for everyone, especially us obviously. But yeah, for now guys, thanks for watching Smog Vlog. Hi, I'm Slater. There. How do you turn the lights on this camera? Because I keep forgetting to look at the camera.
advanced settings.
Is it? Oh. Better. It's not in here at all. No. Oh. Fucking hell. Hello.
Preferences.
Yeah, do you reckon it's focused? Closely swallowed by flogging dogs. Ah.
It's going well. So well. But powering through for you, we'll start with the news. God, I feel like Troy McClure.
Yeah. I'm putting more juice in there. It's just going to go everywhere. I just would just pour it all over myself. And then vapour dry coil. Anyway, it's not about that. I came in like a wrecking ball. I got a dead leg really bad.
You look like you're trying to do a rain dance. Hey, 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 hey.
Racist.
Not if it rains.
Oh no, yeah, it's just rain. Fuck.
All down his mod.
Jeez, our leg is so dead. Okay, and that brings us to the last story of this month. That was Incitatus. Incitatus.
Incitatus.
We'll say it differently every time. So as we've been running quite a lot,
I haven't been running anywhere.
No.
I avoid running.
Yeah, I mean the time.
Who have been promoting the e-juice line from Juice Bomb on the fuck me sideways. We should not record this late. Douse that camera in e-juice.
Oh, I sucked too hard and I just stored the fucking lot up. It's this crazy new fad.
No complaints. He sucks too hard.
It's this crazy new trend that the kids are doing with these drippers. I'm too old for it.
They're sucking too hard, are they?
Well, they're probably doing it right. It's probably just old people getting the wrong end of the stick.
Sucking too hard, crotches on fire. Oh, I don't know, you crazy kids.